Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be taking a look inside the new Sims 4 Industrial Loft Kit. Now, this kit just came out a few days ago now, and there's been some backlash, I'd say, from the community over what the promotional images were versus what was provided in the pack, particularly about a specific window in the game. So we're just going to be taking a closer look at everything we get, as well as some of the other pieces in the game that a lot of people are comparing to the items that came with this pack. So let's just jump on into it. Alright, so I went ahead and installed the pack, and this is the first time that I've opened my game since buying the pack, so I haven't actually looked at any of the items. Okay, so like I mentioned, there's been a fair amount of backlash over this kit due to the window that came with it. Now, I purchased this on August 27th, so a day after the pack came out, and I have watched a few other YouTubers' reviews on this pack, and that's kind of how I stumbled across the concern that the window that was given with the pack did not match or really look that closely to the window that was shared in the promotional images. Okay, so I went ahead and I pulled up an article that kind of explained some of the concerns people were having about the window that came with the pack. And as you can see, this is the window that everybody was not liking. And the reason for that was because besides for this rounded part here, this window was basically the same that came with the Machino stuff pack a while back, whenever that came out. So, hi, Editing Summer here. I realized I did a pretty bad job of explaining what exactly was going on with the window and why there was so much controversy behind it. The reason is because when the Sims team first announced this pack, this video you're seeing on my screen here was what was the initial announcement. Now you see that this is the Moschino stuff pack window with this extra curved top, which we'll look at in game in a second, what those initial windows looked like. But so this is the window that we thought we were getting with the pack, and that was posted on August 24th. And then we got these promotional images actually showing what was coming with the pack, which was this window here, which I honestly do like more, especially because it's not, you know, a reused object with just a tweak in appearance. So I was pretty happy that this is the window that came with the pack, but this is the window that they initially showed that was coming with the pack, which is why people are pretty upset about it. Now I believe they announced on Twitter that they will be working on this window and actually putting this in the game as part of this pack. Yeah, that is why there was so much controversy over this window. It doesn't really make sense on why they do something like this, especially because the pack literally came out 2 days before this promotional video was posted, but who knows? I'm sure it was made a few weeks or months ago, but yeah, that is what was going on with the window. So as you can see here, this is one of the windows that came with the Moschino stuff pack. That was the drama with that window. We did receive 2 new doors with this pack though, one of them being this door, which is a sliding door, and it kind of looks like a garage door in my opinion. I think you can kind of pretend that it's a garage door or even like a barn door. Kind of gives me those vibes. But then we also have this door, which has this opening in it. I think it's pretty nice, but I'm not a huge fan of these open doorways because I'll never use them for an exterior wall because they're open. And what do you do if it's snowing or raining outside? It's not like there's a closed option. So that's a little unfortunate. I would probably use it to divide up a room. I am getting some glitches already in the game with the windows. which is kind of expected for a new pack, but at the same time, I don't really get why. But anyways, I would probably use the door in some sort of situation like this versus putting it on an exterior wall. So let's take a peek at some of the other items that came with the pack. We did get a decent amount of build and buy items, so I think that is pretty exciting. One of those items is this bed here, which I actually really like this bed. I'm not a huge fan of like these striped colorways, but I'm sure that there's a place for them in the game somewhere. We also received this like little lounge chair, which I honestly can't decide if I like it. It's not even like the arms or the back of it that's kind of throwing me off. It's actually how the seat looks and how it's almost like a slouchy, kind of like worn out leather look, which I'm personally just not a huge fan of. So along with the lounge chairs, we also received a matching sofa with this really cute throw blanket over the side of it. The only thing I really have to say about this couch is I wish that the arms were slimmer. They're just really, really wide. Like it seems a little odd to have this part and then the wood and then the middle. So I think that's kind of throwing me off a little bit, but I'll definitely use both of these items a lot. I already know that. We also received this table. It's a high top dining table, which I'm glad to see another one of those in the game. Honestly, I do like to use those. And then along with that, we received this stool here. I really like the base of this stool. I'm just not a huge fan of the colorways. I don't know when you would ever use this. This is definitely more of like a workshop kind of feel to me than it is like an industrial loft. But we don't have anything like it in the game. Not really anyway, so I think that it's a nice addition. We also received this really weird table here with the wheel on the end. I think it's an interesting idea. I just don't see why you would do that. Again, a little bit more of a workshop feel versus a home or loft feel, in my opinion. Another item we received with the kit is this end table. I don't think it's a bad end table. I've seen some comparisons of other items in the game similar to this. I think that's kind of just bound to happen sometimes, and I'm not really upset about that personally because it is different enough. It's very, you know, industrial, obviously. It has like this metal grates, metal legs, and the little metal pole there. So even though it's not a completely unique item, I don't think it's bad, and really there's only so much you can do with an end table. So I would rather have a larger variety of objects in the game than a bunch of crazy things that I'm never going to use. All right, we also received this coffee table here. It is similar to one that we received fairly recently with this kind of 2-level type design, but again, it is different. It's a different style, so I still think that it's a good addition to the game. We do have a few different plant items that came with this pack. One of them being like a larger shelf with built-in planters. Then we have this kind of large vase with like the feather plants in them. We got this terrarium with succulents inside, which is super cute. I do think that these are really fun. I'll use both of these a lot, I already know. I think the colorways on these again are a little strange, but it's fun, it's different, and I'm sure modders will make recolors, which I will look forward to. We did get this cool wall decal. I like this for some kind of like shop or store. I don't think I would use it for a home unless it really is an industrial loft, I guess. But how often do your Sims live in industrial lofts to where you would need decor items for it? I don't know. Honestly though, one of my favorite things that came with this pack are these stupid ductwork panels. I love these. I don't know why, but I think that they are awesome. And I wish we would have had them sooner because they're just really fun, and they're really fun to build with too. Like they just click together, and then let's see if I can get down low. Maybe let's do the taller ceilings. Okay, see, doesn't that look so fun? Like with all the stuff together, it is a really nice pack. It's just a few of those little irritants that I think we're just always going to experience. And, you know, they can't make everybody happy all of the time. So even though I might be not a huge fan of the pack, which I definitely am a fan of it, that doesn't mean that you're going to be a fan of it. Or just because you're a fan of it doesn't mean I'm going to be a fan of it. So everybody likes different things, and it's important to cater to all different sorts of people, especially when you have a business or a game like this. All right, we also received a new fan, which I am super happy about because I am sick of using the same one over and over and over. So I'm definitely excited to use that. And then we finally got a larger fuzzy rug. I have been sizing up the fuzzy rugs that we've gotten in the game so far that have been like 2x1 sizes. So I'm really happy to see that we finally have something in the game that will kind of fill that gap. And I love this colorway. I don't know what it is about it, but it's really nice looking. They also have it in blue, which I think is pretty cool too. All right. One of the last items we received with this pack is this interesting piece of wall art. Again, I think this would be really cool in some kind of workshop. You know, maybe your sim is a furniture fabricator or they like to make wood sculptures or whatever they want to do, and you build them like a cute little workshop. I think that this piece and a lot of the pieces that came with this pack would fit in really well in that sort of environment. So again, I'm glad that we're seeing different styles and different types of objects, even if some of them look similar to some items we already have in the game. All right, the second to last item that came with this pack is this kind of cabinet miscellaneous decor item. It's actually a dresser. Oh, okay. So it's different. Will I use this one a lot? Probably not, but you never know. So, but all right, the last item that came with this pack that I'm not too happy about is this wall pipe, or a floor to ceiling pipe, I think it's supposed to be. Again, I think it's a really interesting feature to have in the game, but if you notice, we have only the one size of it. So what that means is that in order for it to actually connect to the ceiling, you can only use the lowest wall height. And the frustration with that is when you use the lowest wall height, these ducts are going to conflict with a lot of your items. This bed, for instance. This shelf, for instance. Just barely missing that dresser there. If you look, you can't even place it underneath it. So it is kind of a shame that you wouldn't be able to use the ductwork and this pipe in the same build. Really, I mean, you could, but not. I don't think you'd be able to use it as they intended it to be used. So I would really like to see more height variations of this install or put into the game. And I'd also like to see some different variation or different heights of this window as well, because most of the time when we get windows, and I know that this is just a kit pack, but even with the other kit packs, which one is this from? I think this is from that cottage courtyard one. You'll see that we have a normal window, but then we also have a window specifically made for the second wall height. We don't have one for third in that one, but all right, if we look at the Eco Lifestyle pack, this is the window that we get for the normal first wall height. Then if we go into the second wall height category, we get the same window, but taller. And then if we go into the third wall height, we get an even taller one, and there's also wider variation, which I believe there's wider variations for these two windows as well. Despite this only being a kit and not a expansion pack or game pack or even a stuff pack, I still think that it would have been really nice to see those different heights be consistent throughout the different items, and to have those different variations to give players the flexibility to use them in more than just one setting. Especially because if you think about it, what industrial loft would have 8 to 10 foot ceilings? They're gonna be higher. That's why we got the ductwork. So it only makes sense to have some taller doors, some taller windows, and some taller decorative objects like this pipe here. But overall, I do think that this was a really cool pack. It's definitely more items than we've seen in previous kit packs. If you recall, the Bust the Dust kit literally had like 4 items and they were all vacuums. So like I mentioned, not everybody is going to be happy with everything, but I do think that overall, most of the items that came with the pack are very usable for not just an industrial type build, but maybe some of those different eccentric or unique builds as well. I think it will pair really nicely with Eco Lifestyle, at least the worlds. I think it kind of makes sense. And then I think it will work well with a few of the packs we got that we've received in the past. But with all of that being said, I definitely want to hear your thoughts on what you think about the pack, and if you've bought it, and if you haven't bought it, if you will buy it, and if not, why? I'm really curious to hear your guys' thoughts on these new items and kind of kits as a whole, since they are still a little bit of a newer thing. But anyways, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye guys.